Hey, Kanda. Damn these SJW types in the CBC. They've been given a platform to run wild with their anti-man hatred and vitriol and propaganda. And they're taking full advantage of it. Headline: CBC Radio out in the open with Pia Chattopadhyay. Once again, she sure does like to collectivize men, paint them all with one broad brush, right? This is a woman that's obviously had some bitter fucking experiences with men, and she's using her personal anecdotal experiences with men in her life as a means or as a basis for the kind of bullshit rhetoric she espoused in the establishment media that the rest of us men in particular, that we got to pay for, that we're forced to subsidize. No appreciation from Pia for that, though. Hey, thanks for being out there working hard, you blue-collar folks or anyone else, right? That's patting my over-bloated income or salary or my gold-plated pension. And none of that. She's still ready to talk down to us like we're second-class citizens, right? Wow. Headline? Yeah. Listen to this one, folks. Teaching men to ask for consent. So, of course, this is in regards to, what, sexual violence or sexual assault. As if, because here in Canada, it's very rampant, for men to be so domineering and so caveman-like and so Neanderthal-like that we just walk around, I want sex. Give me sex. If you don't give me, I'll just take it. Yeah, apparently that's Canadian culture, according to Pia here, right? I don't know what fucking country she lives in, but like I said in past videos, maybe that's because of the particular atmosphere that she works and functions in, right? She's part of this quasi-arm of the government. She works with some very authoritarian pieces of shit, right? So no doubt there are probably some men in that particular crown corporation that are very much authoritarian pieces of shit. People like your typical Harvey Weinsteins, people in positions of so-called authority, right? Starting to make sense, doesn't it? Seems to be the political class, the pundit class, and those in the halls of academia. These are the ones that are complaining the most. So like I say, are they just reflecting the culture where they function, or are they actually really representative of the population at large? I'll leave you to decide and discern which one you think it is. I know damn well what I think it is, and it has nothing to do with anything that I've personally experienced or anyone that I've ever talked to that functions in the private sector, in the private realm, in the real world, right? I don't hear of any of this bullshit at all, and I wonder why that is. It's a head scratcher, no? I think so. Anyways, I'm just going to play a few minutes of this audio segment so you can hear for yourself the kind of bullshit crap and stance that she's trying to put forth and present to the Canadian populace.
For me, I've always addressed it beforehand because I never want to go home disappointed in any way, so I like to ask directly, man, is it going to happen tonight, right? So it's always been a verbal agreement, like a literal verbal agreement beforehand.
I don't think I have ever asked, hey, do you want to have sex? I think it just flows through it. So then what are the things that you can determine, okay, she did this, she did that, she moved this way, and then I'm good to go.
I was a kind of sheltered kid, so I kind of thought that you always asked first, like literally every time. And I remember my first girlfriend telling me, you don't have to ask me every time, kind of thing, and me realizing, oh, okay.
I've had that, the implied consent, meaning no firm, sober yes, come back to bite me with people who have accused me of taking advantage of them. Even though following the implied consent, when I think back to it, I didn't take any advantage, nothing like that. I've had people come back month, maybe 2 months later and say, oh, no, you took total advantage of me. So now my rule is, unless I hear a sober yes, I don't go any further than just a firm handshake, because I've learned my lesson. We live in a world now where the gray area is too dangerous to live in.
So Stafford, sound familiar?
Oh yeah, a whole sort of spectrum of, yeah, absolutely, sounds super familiar.
Stafford Perry spends his days talking with 14-year-olds about healthy relationships, emotions, and sexual consent. It's part of a program he helps run in Calgary. It's called Wise Guys. And Stafford sees a connection between what he hears from young teens on the ground and what those adult men hanging at a Toronto bar had to say about consent.
I think that's why it's so important to start the conversations a little bit younger, starting at 14, because you get to lay some of those foundations, some of those ideal sort of best practices that prepare people so that they aren't guessing.
So get specific though, Stafford, because you work with young boys. When you talk to a 14-year-old boy and boys that turn into men, I mean, how to specifically ask for consent to get that communication? What do you tell them about how to do it?
Yeah, I think that's it. You do hear it simplified into yes means yes, no means no.
And it's not working clearly.
Well, it's not. It's clearly not working, right? It's clearly not working. And when we apply it to others like human situations, often when people say no, they don't always just say no. So your friend calls you and asks if you want to go out, and you actually just don't want to go. How often do we say, well, no, I got a headache, or I'm, like a justification, a way of actually softening and not saying no means no? And then when it comes to sex, we put that responsibility on a person to say no means no, and also putting all the responsibility on that person to say no. So we're asking sort of unrealistic communication things. That's not how people refuse things from people. So to say no means no, it's that simple, is not how people communicate. So shifting some of the focus onto enthusiastic yes, which again, maybe people think, oh, that sounds cheesy. It's like enthusiasm, that's like a pep rally or something.
So, like I said, listen to this crap. I mean, nothing like if you want to figure out a way to destroy any trust among the sexes, yeah, go with what these fucking idiots are trying to put forward, present, right? Or destroy any kind of romantic ventures or anything that has to do with, males and females come together in their early ages, in their 20s, in their 30s, or even in their later stages of life. Listen. If a person doesn't want to have a sexual encounter, yes, it is incumbent upon them to make it clear that they don't want to do so. There should be no gray area where someone can say, after the fact, subsequent the act, or the next day that, well, you raped me. If during the entire encounter, nothing was said that would give their partner or the other person any inkling that they were doing something against the person's will. Be clear and concise. Stop creating this fucking victim culture. Stop creating this victim mentality. You're not helping women or anyone, for that matter, by fucking suggesting that, oh, you're just a bunch of helpless victims, and the only way for a sexual encounter to actually come to fruition is if you write some fucking contract beforehand, right? I mean, come on. Like I say, who the fuck are these people? Are these people never fucking grown up in the real world? What kind of world do they think they actually live in? If someone does something or tries to force their will or are sexually advancing to the point where it's completely against what you want to happen, fucking speak up. That's all that needs to be said. Personal accountability and personal responsibility goes a long fucking way. But like I say, these fucking people in the media, they don't want to hold anyone to accountable or personally responsible. Except, I guess, men. But women, free pass is what they're saying. Free pass, you can do whatever the fuck you want. You can get drunk out of your fucking mind. You can entice some guy. You can show him your fucking tit. You can say, hey, come on up to your room. You can fucking lay on the bed, spread your legs, right? Give him a blowjob, whatever the fuck you want. And if he has sex with you, if the next day you decide, you know what, that guy's not the kind of guy I really want people to know that I had sexual relations with him. You don't get to change your fucking mind afterwards and say, oh, I feel terrible, so I'm going to charge him with sexual assault or sexual aggression or that he raped me. I mean, you just can't play these fucking games. This is why it's so important. This is why, and you know yourself, if you live in the real world, you know how this is done. Every one of us has had sex with somebody where you didn't ask their fucking permission, but you knew goddamn well that they very much wanted it just as much as you did. Just like, did they ask your permission? Did a woman ask your permission? No, but you know goddamn well when she wanted you. You knew goddamn well you wanted her. That's how that whole interaction continued forward and actually happened, right? There's no pretense. There's no fucking bullshit. There's no gray area. If someone doesn't want it to happen, they'll make it known. Either sex. So this constant virtue signaling as far as creating fucking this pretense of women being just poor helpless victims, bull fucking shit. Push back against this. Fuck the political correct bullshit, right? And nonsense that these fucking idiots try to put forth and present. Pia, really? Maybe she just needs a good fucking firm cock herself. Maybe she hasn't had one for a while. I don't fucking know. I don't know the woman from a hole in the ground. Or maybe she has had some bad encounters with some sexual deviance in her past. And if that's the case, listen, I feel bad for you, Pia. Seek some help. Seek some counseling. Do what you got to do. But stop fucking perpetuating your fucking bullshit myths and your retarded fucking nonsense in regards to what all men are what? Just a bunch of fucking pervs? Just a bunch of fucking vicious rapists? Stop perpetuating your own fucking goddamn anecdotal experiences on the population because you're creating a whole lot of hatred and division among the sexes by doing so. It's a Canadian Libertarian, and I love liberty.